die in the corner. I was locked in the attic by my husband, John, who then went on a cheating trip. Moreover, the ladder down was removed, and I was trapped. My mother-in-law, Susan, who lives with us, was also on a trip with friends, big trouble. I felt like breaking down, but then anger towards John started to boil inside me. After being treated like this, I won't let it go. A week later, when he returned home to a foul-smelling house and opened the attic, he ended up crying in regret. I married John, who is 3 years older than me, and it has been 15 years since. After getting married, I became a housewife and lived with my in-laws, but my father-in-law, Jack, passed away 2 years ago. Now, it's just me, my 74-year-old mother-in-law, and my husband living together. Our house is over 70 years old, quite rickety, and falling apart everywhere. However, if there is one good thing about this house, it's the attic. It was Jack's favorite place, spacious enough to be used as a study. You have to climb a ladder to get in, and it can be removed and locked from the outside when not in use. Because this attic was Jack's favorite place, it's also my favorite, so despite the hassle, I make sure to clean it at least once a week. On sunny afternoons, my secret pleasure is reading in the sunlight that streams through a small window. One morning, as I was about to do laundry as usual, a sweet scent brushed past my nose. What's this smell? The scent was feminine and sweet, and it was coming from John's shirt. Where have you been to get this smell on you? Looking back over John's actions over the past few days, indeed, he has been coming home late. I thought. But this alone doesn't mean he's cheating, right? However, it was enough to start doubting him. Since then, his actions have become more noticeable. I thought. He's on his smartphone again. He's been at it ever since he got home. He's not usually into games much. Maybe videos? I couldn't help but notice his screen, and as I passed by John relaxing on the sofa, it seemed like he was exchanging messages. I thought. He's been messaging someone all this time? That's strange. He often thinks those things are just too much of a hassle. After that, his suspicious behavior escalated. He even took his smartphone to the bathroom, never letting it out of his sight. I thought. I'm suspicious, super suspicious. He's never this clingy to his phone usually. And then an incident that fueled my suspicions occurred. I'm going golfing with a client this weekend in the evening. Oh, is that so? Got it. Until now, such overnight stays happened once a month, but they started increasing, and eventually, he was hardly home on weekends. I thought. I want to ask John about it, but it's hard with Susan around. I wish she would go out too. As if my wish was heard, Susan said she was going on an overseas trip with her kind friends. I thought. All right, I'll take this chance to confront him. At that moment, I doubted John, but somewhere in my heart, I thought. Everything must be all right. The night Susan left for her trip, it was just me and John at the dinner table. Hey, you've been coming home late recently. Why is that? That's because of work. There are a lot of business trips lately. Oh, and a new project is starting, so those work trips might increase even more. Is that so? Why? Don't you think it's all a bit sudden? Did your department change? Check. What's this all about? Are you doubting me or something? His voice dropped and furrowed his brows, clearly getting annoyed. It's not like that, but you've been gone a lot recently, so I just got a bit worried. You're doubting me after all. Who do you think I'm working for? What would a housewife like you understand? He slammed his fork down on the table angrily, and I snapped back at him. I quit my job to take care of your father, remember? Oh. But Dad isn't here anymore, so you can work now. If you're not making any money, you're just freeloading. Don't talk like that. You're the one who started this. Our conversation heated up, and we had a major argument, perhaps the first since we got married. Damn it. I'm completely pissed off now, you freeloader. He raised his hand in anger towards me, his eyes bloodshot. Humph. However, I quickly grabbed his hand and twisted it away. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Let go, you rotten woman. You were the one who started it. You should never raise your hand to a woman. As I let go of John's hand, he regained a bit of his composure, rubbing his arm while glaring at me bitterly. I'll never forgive you. Be ready for what's coming. Bring it on. I'm confident in my strength after taking care of Jack. Next time, I'll beat you even worse, so you better watch out. My husband gritted his teeth in frustration and trembled. Despite my rising anger, I sighed, wondering how things had gotten to this point. The next day was a holiday, and John was off work. However, he seemed to hold a grudge over what happened yesterday and stayed locked in his room. He was likely admiring his idol collection. He's a big idol fan, and his room is crammed with all the stuff he's gathered. If it were only that, it would be fine, but his collecting doesn't stop there. He's also a watch enthusiast, and the number of watches he has collected is immeasurable. I thought, well, he won't be coming out of his room for a while, so I can relax. As I let out a sigh, I went to clean the attic, a once-a-week task. Bathed in the morning light, the room was warmly inviting. Taking a deep breath, there seemed to clear some of yesterday's gloom. All right, time to clean. Just as I rolled up my sleeves, something unbelievable happened, a loud crash as the door shut on its own. Huh? Wait. Huh? It won't open. Huh? The next moment, I heard the sound of a lock clicking from the other side, followed by a thud, which I immediately recognized as the sound of the ladder falling. Hey! What are you doing? Were you planning to lock me in here? Shut up. Die there, pest. Shouting towards the other side of the door, the response came in John's voice. What? You can't be serious? You won't get away with this. What can you do without a key and a ladder? Just try your best. Then his footsteps faded, and soon, I could hear our car's engine driving away. It seemed he had locked me in the attic and left somewhere. This is really not good. I shook the sealed door in panic, but naturally, there was no sign of it opening. Despite the house being in bad shape, destroying it was not an option. What should I do? I need to get out of here. I can't just collapse in this situation. I paced back and forth in the room, thinking of any possible way to get out. Then, I remembered something while searching the room for anything that could break the door. That's right, it was around here. Crawling on the floor, I found something, and with a click, it opened. Yes. The hidden door Jack mentioned. This might save me. I had once heard from Jack about a mechanism in the floor that could be shifted to open as a door. He had found it as a child and was thrilled, calling it a secret passage. He never told anyone about it, but shared it with me when I mentioned my love for mystery novels. Descending into the crawl space, I ventured through the dark. A few meters away, I discovered another small door. Opening it, I found myself above the bedroom Jack used before he passed. I thought, this is amazing. It leads to this room. Right below the door was his bed, and fortunately, there were some duvets piled up. I hung from the ceiling, jumped down onto the bed, and managed to escape. I thought, thank goodness. I'm safe. But my relief was short-lived, as rage towards John welled up inside me. I grabbed my smartphone to call him, but stopped. I decided to seize the chance to gather evidence of his infidelity, which had been bothering me. I quickly checked the car's dash cam and GPS history. Our car's GPS, which he bought saying it's so convenient with the integrated dash cam, is handy because it can be operated from a mobile phone. Aha, I knew it. Accessing it from my smartphone, I was shocked to find footage of John kissing his mistress in the passenger seat, apparently right after he had locked me in the attic. To think he's having fun with his mistress after putting me through all that, I'll never forgive him no matter what. Fueled by a deep-seated desire for revenge, I called someone to confide everything. A week later, I heard the front door unlock and John entered the house. I hid behind the kitchen table, quietly observing him. Ah, what's this stink? Oh, I feel sick. He was completely bewildered by the foul smell that had filled our home. Right, I locked her up. This smell, could it be? Oh no. I hope it's not too much trouble. Apparently, John had been so caught up with his mistress over the past week that he seemed to have forgotten what he had done to me. In a panic, he put up the ladder, unlocked the attic, and the next moment, his scream echoed throughout the house. Whoa! What's this? Unbeknownst to him, I had set a trap above the door. When he opened it, the contents fell directly onto him. Welcome home. I quietly climbed the ladder and peeked into the attic room, suppressing the urge to burst out laughing as I addressed John, who was flailing about in panic, covered in garbage. You were alive? But, more importantly, what's this? What's happening here? What had fallen on him were his cherished idol collection and watches, and a large amount of aged meat he had been looking forward to eating. I had put everything in plastic bags and left them at room temperature for a week, creating an unbearable stench even before opening the bags. When he opened the attic door, the bags burst, showering him with their contents. I had anticipated this and was wearing an odor-proof mask for protection. Those are your precious collections. It turns out I had to suddenly clean the house. What? What does that mean? You did all this without even telling me. I had no choice. You never come home. I've brought all your precious things in this attic room, so you should be thankful. What are you doing messing around like this? My precious collections. You won't get away with this. Clutching his rotting idol collections covered in spoiled meat, he was in tears. I decided to hurt him even more and delivered the final blow. Fine by me. But for now, I want a divorce. Huh? What are you talking about all of a sudden? This is why. I played the dashcam footage on my smartphone, pushing it in front of him. Wait, why, how? Since he seemed to want to know how I got the video, being generous, I decided to tell him. You didn't know? This dashcam can be operated from a smartphone. Then why didn't you tell me about it? I forgot, hee. Sorry about that. I genuinely forgot, so I sincerely apologized. Oh, by the way, the dashcam footage is stored for a month, so all your recent actions have been exposed. What? So that's why you did this. Even my mom won't forgive this. Not just the collection, but you've made such a mess here too. So what? You should compensate me for my treasures and for this house. He seemed to think that bringing up his mom would leave me speechless. He regained his brazenness, smirking slightly. However, I wasn't fazed by such tactics since I had anticipated he'd say something like that. Unfortunately, the house is already scheduled for demolition. It was your mom's decision. Say what? It's over 70 years old and falling apart everywhere, so your mom said I could do as I pleased with it. What? You must be joking. Why wasn't I told about this? Your mom was so upset about your affair that she's decided to cut off ties with you. His previously composed demeanor vanished, and his face contorted. What? How dare you? Yes. And then your mom, who was really furious, told me to really teach you a lesson. Unlike you, she's a wonderful mom. Damn it. You're always meddling in things. Then I can't even get any money from her. He muttered frustratedly while biting his thumbnail, still preoccupied with his collections despite the situation. So, I decided to enlighten him about the harsh reality he was about to face. By the way, your mom has decided to move into a high-end nursing home with her friends. What? She's going to live without us? Well, yes. It's a nursing home, so we can't move in. Then what are we supposed to do now? Hey, don't associate me with you. We're getting divorced, remember? His eyes widened and his face turned pale, a reaction to the realization that he had no savings due to spending all his money on his hobbies. But, if we divorce, you'll be in trouble too, won't you? Unfortunately for you, as you know, I inherited a substantial estate when your dad passed away. He left it to me as a thank you for taking care of him. But your money is mine too. That's not how it works. Inheritances aren't considered marital property. Plus, your mom fully supports our divorce and told me not to give you any money. Wait, please. Let's not get a divorce. He threw the idol collection he was holding and suddenly got down on his knees. Please, forgive me. I'll break things off with my mistress, so don't abandon me. No way. It's too late. Well, goodbye. As I was about to leave, he tried to get up in a panic. However, his feet slipped on the rotten garbage juice, and he couldn't get up properly. I felt no sympathy for him at all. By the way, did you know your mistress was pawning the watches you gave her right after getting them from you? What? How do you know about that? It's all over her social media. She even posted her face, making it easy to find her posts. She bragged about how much she got for the watches. You didn't know? Showing him the social media post on my phone, he was shocked. I gave her limited editions just for them to be sold. Maybe you should sell something to make up for it? What are you talking about? I'm going to be claiming compensation from you. Your mom told me not to hesitate to ask for it, so I will. Wait, hold on. If you leave too, what will I do? I don't care. Why don't you live with your precious idol and watch collection? From now on, I'll be communicating through a lawyer, so be ready for what's coming. Having said what I needed to say, I ignored John struggling to stand up, went downstairs, tidied up the ladder, and left the house feeling refreshed. A few days later, our divorce was finalized. I claimed $30,000 from him and $20,000 from his mistress for compensation. After being disowned by his mom and evicted from the house, John temporarily lived in a monthly rental apartment and commuted to work, but he was eventually fired. Apparently, the mistress, angered by the compensation claim, had complained to his company, causing trouble. Rumor has it that he later became homeless, spending his days collecting empty cans instead of collecting idle goods and watches. As for me, I started part-time work and began studying aromatherapy, something I had wanted to do for a long time, ready to start my second life focused on my own happiness.